Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Really, how are you? My name is Kirsty and this is episode 38 of Is It Expired? You know the drill. This is my disclaimer. Please don't use expired makeup. I know what the potential consequences could be. I'm taking that risk for myself. With that said, the reason I'm doing this is I have a collection that is overwhelming. I neglect a lot of things in my collection just due to the fact that there's so much and I forget about things. So I've put all of my makeup items into a spreadsheet and I let a random number generator pick 5 items. I use those for a week, see how the performance is, see if things like the scent or the texture or the consistency have changed, and if that's the case, I declutter. Otherwise, I just use them for the week, see how they're doing, and if the pigment is the same, if it stays on the same, if I don't react to it, I keep it in my collection for another round, and that's just kind of how I'm playing this game. This is something that I'm sure a lot of other people have done. I just kind of put my own twist on it. It's my own little shop my stash, and that's what I've been doing for the past 37 weeks. Speaking of, let's go back to last week, see what I pulled for week 37, see how things were doing, and then we'll move right along to week 38. Okie doke, we're going to get started with this product here. This is from The Body Shop. It is a shimmer brick. It is just in white. They don't necessarily have shade names. These came in a pack of 4. They were gifted or decluttered to me probably 5 years ago, but the actual age of these, I have no idea. They're probably 8 or 9 years old. Couldn't tell ya. I just don't reach for them because of, I don't know, the way that they're set up. I'm not 100% sure. It was fine for an inner corner highlight. I don't love these, but there's also nothing wrong with them, so I'm going to keep them for now. It's going to be one of those things that if it comes around in this project again, and I realize I haven't used it within that time frame, because it's probably going to be like a year in between, at that point I will declutter it because I'm obviously not reaching for it. But it did the job, it did what it needed to do, it was fine in the inner corner, and we're just going to hope that I remember it in the future. Okay, next here I have my Morphe Fluidity Foundation in F2.10. It is a very matte foundation. This is 4 or 5 years old, I think. Something around there. I'm, again, not 100% sure. But it is a little bit older in my collection. There's nothing wrong with it. I did use it for the week, and it is really beautiful. I just don't necessarily like a super matte foundation, and the reason being is I actually have quite dry skin. So it doesn't work for me maybe the way it would work for someone with oily skin. I don't even know if they still make this formulation, to be 100% with you. I have no idea. I haven't shopped Morphe in a few years, so who knows? But it's good for what it is. I think it's a really beautiful foundation. I just think it's a little bit too matte for my preferences, but summer is coming, hopefully. If we ever get it, we might see it. And on those hotter days where I feel like maybe my makeup might melt off, this is going to be a good option. So I'm going to keep it for now. If I grab it a few times in the summer, I'm keeping it. Honestly, there's not that much left. I want to say it's like here. You can't tell with this packaging, but I know it's pretty low, like it feels pretty light. So it's going to be one of those things that I can finish, and I think I'll be able to finish it over the summer on those warm days if we get them. We'll see. We haven't had a lot of warmth yet this year, so who knows what's happening, but this will be great for those days. I'm just going to keep it. We'll see what happens. Next. This is my BH Cosmetics Tend in Tulum palette. This is only a couple of years old. I got it at Marshall's, Winners, one of those, probably like 2 years ago. The whole story is on the last video in regards to my feelings on this, but it's just not necessarily for me with my complexion, and that's fine. I just think I'm silly that I picked it up thinking it would be ideal for me. Not so much. But it is really beautiful. The formulation is great, and I was able to make it work enough to get some use on it, and that's really all I want with these. So I think it's a little too old due to the fact that I got it from like Winners 2-ish years ago. It's probably at least like 3 to 4 years old, so I wouldn't want to gift it to someone else just due to its age. So I'm going to try and get some more use on it, see what I can do. I definitely used every shade in here. I did. I went very light-handed with the dark ones and actually used them more like on my eyes as crease shades. So there's something I can do with it to make it work and to get use, and I'm just going to keep doing that. That's the game plan. And then here I have the Sephora Collection Lip Powder in the shade Rethink Pink. Again, my thoughts on this are in the last video. It's just a weird product. It's like a sponge. It's a lipstick sponge. And I just think it's weird. But the color is really pretty, and the actual product in itself, the way it looks on the lips, is very, very pretty. I just hate the applicator so much. But because I do like the color, because I do like the formulation in itself, as long as you go in with like a really nice balm first, because it is a powder, it is a little more drying on the lips. But if you prep your lips properly, it's fine, and I do like it. So I am going to keep it. I'm going to try and get more use on it. It's one of those things that you would have no idea how much product is in here because it's in the lid. So I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea how much product is in here. It does not say on this particular packaging, and I don't believe they make these anymore, so I don't even know how I'd find that. But again, because it's in the lid, like, I can't see progress. I have no idea what I'm doing, and it's just one of those things that hopefully I grab some more. We shall see. Again, more of a summer product because my lips are going to be way too dry in the winter for this. For sure. Alright, last from last week, this is my Nomad Singles. So the shade that I picked was this one here. For the life of me, I can't currently remember what it's called. Magical Mist. I kept wanting to say mystical something. I'm just blending them together. So it was a shade here. Very, very beautiful. I love all of these so much, and I've gotten a lot of use on these as it is, so I always love to pull something from this palette, and then I kind of mix and match a lot with these as well. But this was the star of the show for last week. So I'm going to put a couple of looks here. There were a couple days where I didn't do a whole heck of a lot. I just went very basic with the products that I had. But I got a couple pictures, so, you know, take it for what it is. Moving on. That is everything from last week. And I actually did get ready about 4 or 5 times. So these products got a fair bit of use. And yes, some of them are really old. That Nomad Shadow, those singles I got, I think, at the beginning of 2023. So they're only like a little over a year old. Everything else is definitely older, but seemed to be fine. I had no issues. So it's all going back in my collection. It's all going home. And hopefully I remember to kind of grab those before they get pulled again in this project. I would like to see progress on literally everything. So if I pull it and I use it for a week and then a year down the road I pull it again, I want to be able to see visible progress in that product, or it's getting decluttered because I'm obviously not using it and I have enough stuff. But with that being said, let's move on over to week 38. Alright, week 38's a fun one. I think this is going to be a nice week. I have fun with every week, let's be honest. I'm able to make it work every week, and I really enjoy picking products that I haven't seen in a year or 2 or 5. I swear, like, these drawers just go to Narnia, and they get lost in there, and things happen. I don't know. So it's really, really nice to be able to do this and just get reacquainted with some of these really, really old products. And yes, I've definitely decluttered quite a few. I've actually used up quite a bit of products this year too, so it's happening. I am using things up. I am decluttering things if they need to be gone. It's just very slow progress. And that's honestly with makeup, it is going to be, unless you have like one of everything. Because unless you're using that same thing every day, it's gonna take a while. It is what it is. But let's get started here. This is the Glowish by Huda Beauty Multidew Skin Tint. I think I got this last year, at the end of last year. So it's only maybe 6 months old. What are we, June? Maybe 8 months, I guess. It's around there. Just get real exact here. Okay. This is in the shade 02 Fairlight, which makes me believe this is the second lightest shade, and it is like a little bit dark on me still, which is just saying something about the fairness of my skin. Again, I haven't been able to tan much. We have not had a lot of nice days yet this year, which is really, really sad. Honestly, I love the sunshine. I love being able to take my computer and go work out on my deck through the day, and then I usually get a good, not really a burn, but I just turn into a lobster. It's fine. That's who I am. But at least it gives me some color. So that's good. But I haven't been able to do that a lot this year. There's been like 3 days. Anyway, fairly new. I like it for what it is. I do hear a lot of complaints about this. I know I have. I've seen it in a lot of videos that people just hate this, and I don't know why. For a skin tint, I think it goes on my skin so beautifully. I think it makes my skin look very, I don't know, like plump and juicy. And I know that sounds weird, but it just gives this beautiful glow and life to my skin, and I do really like it. Yes, it's not quite the right shade, but I can make it work. I just mix a little bit of concealer in with it. We're good to go. We can make it work. I love this product for what it is, and I don't get all the hate for it. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. Moving on. This is old. This is my Tarte Glamazon Timeless lipstick. This has to be 8 or 9 years old, something like that. It is dirty, first of all, one moment. And I'll tell you the reason why I had to do that. But it's this beautiful, stunning orange shade. I love it. And the reason that it was dirty is because I have been using it as a cream blush, as a gorgeous, it's so beautiful. It is this just stunning bright orange. So I go very light-handed with it, but I am obsessed with it as a cream blush. And this is going to be a terrible story, but last night I forgot to take off my makeup before bed. Guilty. I don't do that very often, I'll be honest. I usually make sure that I give my face a good scrub. I'm usually really good to it. I didn't make it yesterday. I woke up this morning and my cheeks looked gorgeous. This was still on, and it was beautiful. I was like, wow, okay, that's impressive. And then obviously I washed and reset. But I was so impressed that a lipstick, is this supposed to be like a long wear? It does say that it is a 12-hour lipstick. However, I would have got ready at like 9 yesterday because we went to the farmer's market. And then when I woke up to go take it off this morning, it was probably like 11. So it was on for over 24 hours. I'm sorry, guilty. Do not ever do that. Terrible. But the fact that it was still on my cheeks and I could still see it and it still looked good, I was so impressed. I really was. They don't make these anymore, but they should bring this formula out as a cream blush. I'm just saying. All right, moving on. This is, everything's got fingerprints on it. This is my Pat McGrath Labs Blush Without Caution in the shade Desert Orchid. God, I can never open these. There, okay. It is a very pretty, very neutral blush. There is nothing that exciting about it. I only got these, I think I got these in 2023 too, as well, like at the beginning of last year, I think. So not super old again. They're pretty, like they're fine. I did actually have this over top of that cream blush, so it might have been the duo that made it stick around the whole time, but that color definitely shone through more. This does have like a bit of a warmth to it, so it works really, really well with that, and it's fine. I have a couple of these, and I don't think they're so phenomenal for the price point that you couldn't find something that is just as good for a quarter of the price, I'll be honest. But I did get these, there was a sale and it was like 2 blushes and a lip gloss or something, and I don't remember what the sale was, but it was good enough that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try them. They're okay. They're nice colors, they go on really beautifully. There's no weird pilling or anything that happens, but it's a blush. There are definitely drugstore options that work just as well. It is what it is. I'm happy to have it, but it was expensive, so I might as well get some use out of it. And now we're gonna go from like pricey to literally the opposite. This is my Shop Miss A, where everything is like $1 or $2. This is the Perfect Bronzing Powder in the shade Frappe. And this really just goes to show what I was just saying. This is amazing. This is amazing. They are cooler toned, which is phenomenal for very, very light skin, because if you pull too warm, suddenly you're orange. You're an Oompa Loompa. That's what happens. So these, I have a couple of them. This one's a bit more of a neutral shade. and my other one is more of a cool toned shade, and I love these so much. They are so blendable, they are buildable, they are light enough that you're not really going to go overboard with them if you have fair skin, which is kind of nice. I just love them. I really do. I can't get enough of these. I think there are more colors, and I might look into the other shades. And I think there's some blushes in this formulation too that I'm gonna have to look into, because I've never had issues with it. I feel like it just blends out so beautifully every time. I don't have to fight with it. And for like, what are you, $2 Canadian? Something. Let's shoot for the moon here. Let's say $2. It's worth it. Worth it. I love these. Moving on. Oh, these are new too. These I got in 2023 for sure. Alright, last for this week. This is my Coastal Scents 26 Shadow Blush Palette. This I got right before the business went out of business. The company went out of business. So maybe 2.5 to 3 years old. It's not super new, but it's also like not nearly one of the oldest things in my collection. I would say like 3 years ago tops. And I really love this. I know it's Coastal Scents, right? Again, it was a very low cost company. The packaging's not great, but for a neutral mauvey palette, I am obsessed with this. I do wish there were a couple lighter shimmers in here just to be able to do the inner corner. I did use something else today just to give myself the pop I needed, but stunning. I even went in like, ooh, these ones are blushes up here, but I did actually use this one and yeah, these two on my eyes today. So you can mix and match. They're so beautiful and they blend out wonderfully. There are no blending issues. The pigment is there. I was so impressed with this. And again, it was one of the things that I got right before they went out of business. And I was like, dang it, they really had that formulation going on. They really did, and I feel like they were super underrated. It was one of those things that like Coastal Scents had those like 88 color palettes 15 years ago. And 15 years ago, I had about 4 of them. The pigment was not great. The formulations were just not good. But it was one of the only brands that you could get, first of all, bright colors, and secondly, like it was so many options, and so that was exciting. But I think that idea of Coastal Scents formulation stayed in our heads, which is weird because BH Cosmetics did the same thing, and then they branched out, they reformulated, they did a bunch of other things, and they came out with some amazing eyeshadow palette, just products in general. They came out with so much great stuff, and I don't think we gave Coastal Scents that same chance, and then we lost them. And I think we should have, because I have this palette and I have another one that is very much just colorful palette, not an 88 one. It came out like right before they went out of business, like 6 months or something, and they sent it to me in PR, and it's beautiful. Their formulations got so good, and I think we just had this image of them in our heads of those 88 pan palettes that just weren't good. They were interesting for what they were, and it was nice to have the options, but then, other brands started coming out with color, and indie brands started coming out with all these beautiful formulations and duochromes and multichrome. We grew so much in the makeup industry that it's like Coastal Scents just got left behind and people forgot about them. And I'm so bummed about it, because at the end there, they were really, really getting some good products, and people just didn't know. And it was really sad, and I miss them, and I always will. They have a special place in my heart. They really do. But that's everything for this week. I am really looking forward to playing with this palette, to be completely honest. I just think the shadows are so stunning. And even though it is a little bit more neutral, I can always bring in other things. I can always get crazy. I can bring in some color and make some really intense looks. And I'm probably going to, but to use this as the star of the show, I'm really excited. That's it. That's all. That's everything. Have yourselves a wonderful day, evening, weekend, journey, and I will see you all next time.